goddamn. Like I fight our country like soft than a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Personally, but I probably
It's
the shit
world
that they
problems.
should
I'm
be
not gonna
outraged
say
about, they
I,
don't be in the shit that
I'm I'm not gonna say soft. I'm gonna say it's first world problems because you got to understand. Like, there's a generation that's only experienced the peak of what America has to offer, and some people might say that we haven't even hit that said peak or apex. And then some people say we have, you know what I'm saying? So, like, some people have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's like, man, my grandma, your grandma, my uncles, now they seeing, people getting paid for smoking gas on TV and movies. They like, that never would have happened. Boys is getting knocked upside the head in the streets with billy clubs to the white meat. And
Bro.
now you mean to tell me they can get paid? Like, so the changing of the tide has occurred. And with that, mentalities change. So it's not that we soft, we're still the youngest country in the world first. With that becomes, ignorance is bliss, but then it's like we got the most power, the most guns too. So, great power, great responsibility. So I could see why you think, or why you said, we soft, not think. But it's just like
Reason why I say soft is like a veteran could come home and it take him 2 years to be seen by a mental health specialist through the VA. Like that should be an outrage, right? But
he should go through that in debriefing, I think.
I mean, like even when they come out, like going through debriefing, like would it take 9-18 months to work a person up for deployment, and they
I
come
think
back.
it take like 18 months to like chill out, get back to civilian life.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's like a woman. Like it take a woman 10 months to go through the full period of being pregnant, go through the however many weeks having a baby. She don't go back to work. You know what I'm saying? Like the next week, like she need that same work down that she worked up to the baby after. Like the way our judicial system set up is the gray area between somebody being 12 and 14 and being sexually abused and how that's looked at in the court of law is fucking stupid. Like if you got to be
And a
18 to join the
subjective state
military,
to state.
18 to vote, 18 to smoke, 21 to get liquor, but like all the other shit, like it's like underage. Like that's just it's the weirdo shit for me. Is the things that we should be super sensitive about, we not. The things that like really doesn't fucking like have any bearing on life itself is the things that people are hypersensitive about. And I'm like, this cancel culture, this weird woke culture shit, like seeing Flint, Michigan's water crisis should been like, oh my God, like it's an entire region of people who are drinking bad drinking water and the like, allegedly the most powerful nation on earth. All these scientists, all these schools, all these universities that cost so much. Why is there not a solution to like bad water in the area? You know what I'm saying? It's like shit that should be like alarming is like shit that's like smoothed over. Shit that they like have everybody knee jerk like impulse. Some shit could happen on Twitter. Somebody that's known you their whole life, that know you a good person, right? Could flip and not fuck with you the remainder of your life over some social media issue, and you responded, you hit like on something and shared it. I never knew you felt that way, Impulse.
I've actually, I can comment on two of those last things you said. I've actually had that happen. I just said that in a video the other day. I think this content creation thing and my real job, what I do, has kind of morphed me to people. So, like, I do say things on social media, and somebody could be like, "You don't fuck with black people." What? What you mean? My mama black, my sister black. You know what I'm saying? My girl Latina. What are you talking about? You make it seem like I'm rocking with the other side. But that's the world we live in. Is like, but I also think is to answer that and your first comment about the Flint water crisis, this is all an experiment. So it never was meant to have a answer. It's still collecting data of the experiment.
It's like a proxy war. Nobody meant to win it. But my
Nah,
thing is like
right.
that's my sauce though, is like, okay, but we're gonna be like, bro, I swear to God, and I didn't want to like get so angry, but I was like, man, let me not say nothing because I already said I can't debate with nobody who don't have kids about issues with kids, right? Not because I don't respect like I disrespect their opinion.
Nah, you can't respect their opinion. You
No,
can't
no, no,
you
but
can't
this
understand
me being
nothing.
politically
Let
correct
me
saying
teach you how to
I
vibe.
don't your perspective. I care to hear it, but your opinion don't weigh as heavy as another parent. You see what I'm saying? So when a person says like, "Yo, you're a bad parent if you spank your kids," like, nigga, like, have you ever seen your kid like want to touch a hot stove, or you have a 2 year old that doesn't speak like you and I speak, that knows a few words and a few phrases and can do ABCs and numbers, want to run out in the street and run in front of a car because they don't know better, or go pick up a dog and choke it because they don't know a dog is a dog and it might bite them, and I can spank their hand and say, "Hey, I told you to leave that dog alone. The dog may bite you." Now, if that dog bite my child and bite her nose off, then you know what I'm saying. It's like maybe I should have popped her hand and told her no. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying take an extension cord and tie her to a tree and beat whips into her back, but I'm saying until you've been in a situation where you've repetitively told your child something and they're not getting through, I'd rather spank my child than my child like have a hard lesson learned in the real world from somebody who don't care that
Facts.
that's their child, because it's not their
Big
child.
facts.
So people just say
This
like,
is a
"Oh, my
great
dog is my child, my cat." No, it's fucking not.
nah
It's a fucking
nah
dog.
nah. This is a great segment because it's not. It's like you say. I guess I might have to start running with that. I don't disrespect people
5
who don't
times.
have kids, but until you didn't have to stay up with a sick baby,
7 days.
go to the ER, make a bottle at 4 o'clock in the morning on 2 hours of sleep, less than 2 hours of sleep. Really don't understand. So like the phrase, "It hurts me more than it's gonna hurt you." I gotta discipline you, especially if you look like us, because that already comes with a different set of judgment and different set of thought
When it
process
comes
and
to
then
capital
just
punishment,
anything. I ain't even gonna say. I'm gonna say anything. Like I don't like to typecast myself and be like, I'm a black streamer, but I do get looked at a certain way because I'm a black streamer, and if I don't at least acknowledge that reality, I'm not being realistic about what I'm doing. I don't call myself a black streamer. I just so happen to be a streamer who's black. So take that how you want. If you think I need to be this way or I talk this way, then you ain't watching enough. And if you enjoy me because I look like you, then cool, we can rock with it. Or you enjoy me because of the gameplay, cool. But like, if you're not like looking at it that way,
Let me teach you how
then
to
you're not being
vibe.
real. So yeah, I gotta discipline my kid because the world's already
Muscle.
going to do it.
I mean that right there. But that's what I mean by the hypersensitive is some of the ass whoopings I got saved me from getting in real trouble. Like I got some homeboys that they didn't get ass whoopings, and I'm like, them niggas went to jail. When I
Big
said,
facts.
"Oh man, we probably shouldn't do that shit." Man, my daddy gonna beat my ass if I goddamn do this. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not that my daddy beat me, it's that I know if he get to that point with me that I'll whoop your ass so the world don't have to kill you, type shit. And the same thing goes when I see a black person.
Especially in the world where you ain't even doing nothing, you can be killed.
Can be, you could just fit the description. You know what I'm saying? And the killing part is the same thing I say when it's hypersensitive, when people try to attach other movements to being black. I'm like, no, being black is its own thing, right? Like, until you've experienced it, you don't know what it's like. So you have to go through it to understand it, to know it. And even being black in certain areas of being different, it's type of, depending on your location, it could be even worse. So I'm like, you can't attach a, a identity crisis with sexuality to being black and say it's the same thing. It's two different things. Then I have black people get mad at me. I'm like, no,
Well,
because you happen to be gay, that ain't
This
got
is
nothing to do
interesting.
with being black.
well, I'm not gonna say you're wrong. I think what has happened in our culture and in the world is, I don't have it with me on this side of my desk.
We
I
having
got
a
an
deep talk
etymology
here.
dictionary, right?
Oh yeah,
Uh, New mic. I got an etymology dictionary, and if you really start to learn and just see the definition of words and how people use stuff, I always say words have power. Words are a spell.
they do.
So if you really understand, I ain't even gonna call them white people because I got white friends and they're part of the
I be saying
resistance too.
Caucasian. I just do it
I
because
say
I
clear
don't like to
people.
paint
I
somebody
say
like, I don't like to
yeah.
use
I
the
just say
crayon
clear
shit.
people. Yeah, I say clear
Yeah,
people because I don't know what side you affiliating with. You could be a Jedi, you could be a Sith. Anyway,
you already know where I'm at. I'm
We
right
thought you
there
was
with you,
black for a
brother.
while.
you
Yeah,
sound like
exactly,
it. uh,
exactly.
but like going back to the wording, it's not that. because I do agree they have hijacked our resistance. That's what I'm gonna call it. I ain't gonna call it struggle, but they only have because they figured out how to play the game, how to use the wording,
They
how to
use the
use the
vehicle.
legal system, how yeah, exactly how to use the vehicle, how to use the currency. We are still, like you say, we still fighting about. Look, Joe Rogan returned to YouTube, man. Had Cat Williams on here. Somebody gonna tell me they would not be that big without Shannon Sharp. I don't know, but I do know Joe Rogan has the biggest podcast in the world. So him returning to YouTube was gonna be big, regardless if it was Shabba Buddha, if it was Impulse, if it was whoever, Man on the Street, Michael
Yeah, yeah.
Jackson dancing on the corner. Joe Rogan was gonna do numbers, and the fact that people inside my culture don't understand that or take that as an attack on Shannon, on Cat, you don't understand what's going on here, and I don't even know if I want to waste my time with that folly anymore. I can't save you. You
This
still
man
plugged in.
said folly. No, I mean, but see, this the thing though. When I say that black people are uninformed about a lot of things or get knee jerk about the wrong shit, I'm like, I asked the person, "Are you mad because I detached the black struggle from the gay struggle?" And you were black.
Oh man, yeah.
Like your first, yeah, your
That
first
gets
identification.
hot.
Touching on a
That,
touchy subject, bro.
It
People
ain't
get
touchy, bro.
real in
that
their
gets
feelings about
hot.
I'm
that.
ripping the band-aid off. Like, listen,
Let me
that
teach
gets
you
hot.
how to
Look,
vibe.
it's a video on YouTube where this guy migrates to America and he looks pale skinned.
chronic.
He
Let
looks
me
pale
teach you
skinned,
how to
and
vibe.
they asking him, he going through the process, you know, like he's legit all the way around for the sake of this conversation. He's legit all the way around. And they like, all right, what you want to identify as? And they like white, Caucasian, and he like, nah, I'm this. And they like, nah, that's not how it works. America is the only country in the world where your race is put before your monetary status or your biblical belief, because I think that's what he was leaning into. So from that point on, the system is already rigged. And if you ain't understanding how to play the game, this shit's lost. Like you
Yeah, you're not
understand
wrong. You're not
you're
wrong.
playing craps with loaded dice.
It's so funny because that was the same vehicle that I used to explain to those people. I said, see, all of y'all who are disagreeing with me don't have kids. And they were like, what that got to do with it? I'm like, my 2-year-old daughter and my 8-year-old daughter are little black girls. And before we talking about who
Uh-huh.
they're going to date and who with their sexual identity or any of that, when they go to class, on dance class, depending on the school that we've been at 3 different schools. She might be the only little black girl there, and you have that wonder is if she's better than 90% of the class, are they gonna put her in the back?
Nah, they actually thinking how her daddy afford to even afford this class. That's what they
But
thinking.
see this the sauce though.
Damn.
But see this the
Depending on
sauce.
the area.
But see this the sauce though. We sitting here and I'm like, when she goes to school and she's in the first grade last year and she beats everybody except for the 6th grader across the street in the spelling bee. They're like, damn, this little first grade black girl just outbeat everybody except for Delia across the street. And Delia came and gave her a hug when she got the word wrong because she's our neighbor. They play they across the street and Chris is her daddy. You see what I'm saying? Like and we've been across the street for them since she was 2. So this is the sauce. Me and him is sitting next to each other on the bleachers, and we both kind of 2 proud daddies. Like, oh, we got our 2 girls up there smart. You see what I'm saying?
That's
But
dope. That's dope.
you
That's
have to
fire.
go
That's
into these.
fire.
You have to go into these things of like, I'm dealing with a daughter that's 8 who have the first time that a kid don't want to play with her because she's brown, and having those conversations. So somebody trying to attach their sexual identity and their confusion to what my daughter will have to deal with in the conversations I'll have to have. You can't equate your
That's a whole different
Pomeranian.
ball game.
You
Whole
can't
different
you
ball
can't
game.
Whole
equate your
different ball game,
Pomeranian
yeah.
Whole
and
different
your
ball game.
identity to the black struggle of
Whole
something
different ball game.
of something that's because listen, when it comes in when they try to go there, I'm like, listen, the Jews had the Holocaust. Ain't no Germans flying Nazi flags in their face, and they still getting reparations to this day. When you talk about like that's how it always has worked. The Tuskegee experiment survivors still didn't they denied giving them things. Like this has
Oh,
been
the airmen?
declassified. They denied it.
You talking about the airmen?
No, Tuskegee experiment. You know what that is?
I do not. I know about the Tuskegee
All right,
Airmen.
let me
Stillman University, buddy. Look it up.
let me give this to you, Twigs.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Tuskegee is a city that's got a HBCU on it. Easy two
Yep,
timers
yep,
from
yep.
Tuskegee. All right, so
Okay.
what they did was around the time, like, in between World War One, World War Two type time, it's segregated. It's a black neighborhood, strong black community. The government came in with these doctors and set up this clinic to deal with syphilis, but they were infecting
Okay.
them and testing them. Nobody knew about it,
Oh,
and when
geez.
it's all over, they up and leave. And then when they declassify it, yes, we infected a town full of black people to see how their bodies would react to penicillin and the different drugs that we had. So they basically ran an experiment. So once they
Yeah, like it was
declassified it,
lab rats.
like
That's
10 years
crazy.
ago, like they honored, like, the president come out and do all this stuff, but they was like suing to get reparations. Like, well, if you purposely poison
Infected
the
somebody.
entire town versus
Yeah.
for black people, and it's documented and they got movies about it and everything, why would you not like rectify that situation, right?
Yeah, some make rights,
If
yeah.
you
They
open that
denied it
door,
at the same
yeah,
time
because if
that
you
they sending aid abroad or giving money to immigrants here and stuff. It's because of our legal classification
if
in the
you open that
Constitution.
door, it's
Yeah, that's
over.
fucked up.
They go,
That's
yeah,
that's
and
fucked up
he's
bad.
exactly right.
And
Because we still not even
when you do
technically
that,
free.
and when you do that, if you don't, you can't attach somebody saying, "Hey, I'm Twigs, and I want to identify as." If you came out right now and said, "Bro, I'm gay and I want to live my life like this," we would say, "All right,
Boy,
brother,
hell
man, live."
no.
No, but this is what I'm saying. Like, just for sake of conversation, I say, man, it's your life. Do what you want to do. What you do behind closed doors ain't got nothing to do with it. If we can still get money and do content together, I'll never change
Right.
about the way I treat you, right?
Let me teach you
Right,
how
right,
to
right, right, right.
That doesn't supersede something that's your decision, and I don't
Let me
have to
teach you how to
want to
vibe.
eradicate you or do experiments
Yeah,
on
but you
you
can't.
or any of
Yeah,
that
I
shit.
get what you're saying. You can't change. Yeah, you can't change the history of an entire people based on your sexual orientation.
Right. So it's like that's my thought is imagine if somebody tried to attach their sexual orientation to Jewish
No,
people. What would happen?
that's
Let me
insane. That's
teach you how to
insane.
vibe.
Bro, you
Yeah,
finna get stopped at the door. That's not happening.
yeah,
So
that's
a person
insane.
being
So people are
offended,
arguing that.
people people are
100%.
offended
Yes,
if I'm like, no, like the
100%.
black
Yeah,
struggle is
yeah.
one in its own. Like we're not
Oh,
the
that's
same.
fucking crazy.
Like I
That's fucking
respect your
crazy.
fight. I respect your push for your, but bro, it took us 400 years to get basic human rights that happened 60 years ago. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like that
yeah.
we
Motherfuckers, they're tripping
in
about
in
that, the
in
gay
the
stuff, and that'll
vehicle
get you canceled.
that Impulse is talking about is black people's rights started along with women's suffrage when they said the humane society is not for human, it's for animals. So if you can't treat a Jewish or a black person or a woman worse than you treat or inhumane to an animal, that's how it started. If you can't do
Right,
a
right,
dog
right,
like
right,
this, you
right, right.
can't do a human
Yeah,
like this.
I'm familiar. I'm
You see
familiar.
what I'm
I'm
saying?
familiar
So
And
with
it's
it's
that.
like,
crazy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy. You mentioned the dog. A lot of people, Alabama, Henry Ruggs. The reason why
what?
his case even got amplified the way it did is because the dog died.
The dog.
Yeah, the dog
Like
died in the passenger seat. Yeah.
the dog died in the passenger seat, so they tried to count that as another human. Now, R.I.P. the victim. I ain't saying Henry did anything wrong, but I just want people to understand that prosecutor, based on what they could find in the legality of the law, said, "Oh, wait, I can make this dog a human and amplify all this man's
That's because
charges."
that's because Americans got soft spots for dogs, bro.
But they
Clear
don't
people do.
got for
Clear people
black
do.
people. I mean, but this
Clear
the thing
people
though.
do.
Even the civil rights, like when it really amplified is when they had, I'm sorry, Twigs, nigger lovers hanging around us helping, and then
Jesus
some of them
fucking
got
Christ.
killed. Some of them got killed, and some of the like you can beat an old black lady on the bridge with a baton and beat her to death.
That's fucked. Yeah,
But
that's real fucked.
you know what I'm saying? But
Real
y'all
fucked up.
shot that car up and there was two white people in there. Y'all fucked up.
Let
Now.
me teach you how to
You know what I'm
vibe.
saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
nah.
shit. Like think about it. The dudes who blew up the four little girls in 16th Street Baptist Church never went to jail.
That's insane.
But they had
A lot of people are
they
still
killed 8
learning
people
about
that day
that
though.
in 2024. A lot of people are still learning about that in 2024. More people know about Timothy McVeigh. More people know about the DC shooter. They don't
Malvo.
know about that.
Bang,
That's
what up?
crazy to me. You
You know
feel me?
why?
That's
Because
great.
I'll tell you why, bro. Because it's easier to look back, like in history books, and they try and suppress shit that makes America look bad. They try and suppress a lot of that shit
I
It's
used to
by
be a
not
history
teaching it.
major. I used to be a history major, and I had to do a paper. I remember this clear as day. I went to HBCU, Kentucky State, Frankfort, Kentucky. Um,
bluegrass.
I I
Hey,
had Bluegrass State gang, had a lot of good times down there. And the day I had to do this paper and what I was researching on, it was like you find stuff, and it's like, nah, man, I'd rather just go back to the media. And I didn't like what I had to deal with in the media side either, but history is wrote by the victor. That's what I found. So like I live in Texas, states like
100%, bro.
Florida, other states like Arizona and California, CRT. You know what I'm saying? So, but I just did a pod with my man's on this when he was talking about gun control and gun safety. This starts at the crib. This should be taught at the crib. My son is gonna know about them girls in Alabama. My son is gonna know about Rosewood, Florida. He gonna know about Black Wall Street in Oklahoma. Like I don't need, and it's not the teacher's job or the school's job to teach him these things like that. If that's my culture and that's what we need to remember so we can go forward, isn't that my job? You know what I'm saying? Like I
To a
don't need the
degree, to a
history
degree,
book to
to a
teach him
degree,
that.
to a degree.
I don't need the history book to act like like a slave was a good thing and it was being helped. I don't need I don't need them to change that. But see, I agree that like giving your child a global view on history, which is what Twigs when you said that it make America look bad, not look bad, a threat to national security. That's what the CIA
Right,
and the
right, right,
FBI
right,
stops is anything
right,
that's a threat to national black people getting their civil rights and civil unrest was a threat to national security. So
right. Which
like
is crazy.
that's why you have what they did with the gangs and the Black Panthers
Leaders.
and the civil rights movement taking out the leaders because they were a threat to national security. The moment that Martin Luther King said, "We need economic free," oh, this Negro here is smart enough to get these people to know that they need to get equal as it
I
applies
don't
to the percentages.
I
So
don't know if you read a book called George Orwell's 1984. I kid you not.
familiar with it
Everything in that book is happening right now. Everything.
because it's
Like
easy to predict.
I ain't
Like
gonna say like down to a T, but it's like
behold
Pretty
the
spot
pale
on.
horse. All
uh,
like
all I'm gonna say, all I'm gonna say is that day in January is a that was a test. It was a game demo. You know what I'm saying? They gave it to you for free. The next one, it's gonna cost some people.
yeah, I mean the tough part is when I was saying so soft is if they suppress your voice to have a general conversation without media spin, the media tells people what to be angry about and what sides to take.
Yep, yep.
Like ordinary people that would unify to make sure their community is like if I can't split you on religion or politics or some social issue that generally has that's why like when it comes to like the whole sexual identity crisis thing, I'm like, bro, like what you do in your own home has nothing to do with me. My track record in real life dealing with people that have alternative lifestyles, my shit is flawless. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
Like in
yeah,
real
yeah, yeah.
life. So it's like when I
Yeah, same,
say we
same.
can't have an actual conversation about agendas and how what we should actually be pushing towards is is like the easy part to identify for me, but the way they lay it out is it makes it hard for you to connect it all because you can't have the conversation. So if you
Right.
can't even have the conversation on why you feel a certain way, what happens,
But I think
Twigs?
that's also by design.
Like
I also
what
think that's
happens
by design.
what happens when you get canceled when you say your true feelings about something? You start having those
That's
conversations behind closed doors. So now
yep.
me and Impulse, because you scared of getting canceled, you like, I ain't gonna talk about that, guys. And we don't
Can't
know what you
even.
thinking. So
Right.
it might be 100 Caucasian males that own firearms and have 4x4 trucks who feel just like you feel, who feel like, man, I can't say what I want to say. And Twigs, you might be a veteran. You might have served 4 years for your country and feel like,
On God,
Right.
on
wait a
God.
minute. I done went to war for this country. And I come home and I say, hey man, I've been abroad. I've been to Israel. I've been to Palestine. I've been in Afghanistan. I've been in Iran. I've been in Africa.
Kuwait.
I got a different
Right.
viewpoint on what y'all looking at. I can tell.
Different perspective.
No,
Yeah.
your thoughts don't matter, Twigs. And you like, wait, I've been to them places you telling me about that you haven't actually been there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
like,
A
Because
lot
people
of
just
this
like to
is
hear themselves talk. That's what it gets down to.
and when yo,
there's
DeBoer, what
that,
up?
and then
And when you can't
a
speak,
lot of this.
black people like me got white homeboys that's like, yeah, Buddha, like the shit to be talked about behind closed, but I know. You see what I'm saying? Because you can't say it publicly.
Not trying to get you canceled, big dog.
You know what I'm saying? But when it happens, people are surprised, right?
Or themselves.
All
People are
right.
surprised. And I'm like, if you only knew what was really going on.
You
Like,
But
say
I
how you
also
feel
think
about
that's
some
like
shit. Then you got people
that's
DMing you
also
talking
by
about
design.
crazy shit, bro. I commented on one of Buddha's status one time, like about that Josh Giddey shit. My phone was blowing up.
it's
I
gonna
was
kill
with my
you.
family,
I
dog,
turned
and
my
my phone was
notifications off
blowing
that
up.
day.
But
I
think
turned
about
my
it, Twigs, though.
notifications off that day on my
You
mama.
you said it, and I know you was just like having conversation, and I'm like, bro, people was like ready to kill you. I'm like, so when you showed
Ready
up
to
in the
kill me.
Discord, how would you feel? Now this is what I mean by soft. How would you feel if I wasn't me and you came in the Discord and I was like, bro, I don't think you need to be here because of what you said about Josh Giddey. Then you like,
That'd
wait
be
a minute.
crazy.
You saying it's like crazy
That's
calm. Like
crazy.
now I can't have an opinion
Right.
about
That's
something.
crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, that's
that's the
crazy.
scary part. The slippery slope is we have people who are making decisions for women who aren't women. How can you
Right.
decide
I said that
what
in
they
the
doing with
in
their
the song.
childbirth and stuff if you're not a woman?
R-
The same way
Literally, dog.
is you telling a parent, I can't tell my child something, even if it's 100% factual, because of cancel culture. Like, no, you don't get to tell my child nothing about none of that shit.
Let me
If my
teach you
Yeah,
how
child,
to
if
You
my
know what's
vibe.
child was
actually
a
also
normal
sad
child
about
and this
that
didn't
too?
exist, we not talking to my child about sex and they ate.
hell no.
You see what I'm
You know,
saying? Like, what are we doing?
you know, the sad part about that is the design. Like I always say, is they put it in the food. So like I forgot there's this article in the 2008 Times where like there'll never be another generation to fight. So that's why it's like it's so shocking that these kids today, we gotta give them their credit. They like, nah, I ain't with that. PTO, I'm not calling in. You know what I'm saying?
Let me
Whatever,
teach you how to
whatever they
Mindful of
vibe.
standing on,
Kevin
they
G.
standing on.
DeShenry.
But back to the food. There'll never be another generation that actually rises up to fight against the resistance because of the Fred Hamptons, because of the Malcolms. Like this is literally
Trauma.
socially and economically designed. Like I don't know, man. It's almost like you ever been in a job situation and it's a total messed up situation for everybody, and it only take one person to be like, "Nah, I ain't doing this." And now everybody's standing on it. It's like that's what the U.S. fears. It's only gonna take one to wake up to spark the flame.
And in the spot we in, who's gonna be that person that's gonna step up, knowing
Sexy red.
the way they shut up, the way they
Boy, hell
operate is
no. Bend that
okay.
ass
We
over.
see who want to be outspoken. We silencing
I'm
your
just
ass.
saying, if it goes through that median, if she had the opportunity to affect change with her voice and platform,
Lord, I mean, we
Sex,
on a
I,
slippery
sexy
slope.
red, sexy red, and sexy red. We trust. Is that what I'm hearing?
I
Man, we on a slippery slope when it comes to not being able to freedom of speech is very, 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 very close to being threatened.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're
it's
pretty much
already there.
yeah.
It's
That shit
already
gone.
there when we kicked in the door, letting people get silenced on YouTube, letting people get silenced for anything.
Facebook.
Whether
Now,
I
You
now,
post some shit
it,
whether
on
I
Facebook and
agree,
get
bro,
whether I
it was
agree with what you're
unpopular.
saying,
It was unpopular.
yeah. Whether
Do y'all remember? I was the only person that was black that said like I don't give a shit about Jerry Banfield, um, identifying as being black, and people was like, "What do you mean?" But I'm like, bro, like he's literally like trolling, and he's doing it to prove a point. Anybody with a brain can see the point that he's trying to prove, even though he's going about it like slapping black folks in the
all
face
the
by
wrong
doing
ways.
it. But since
Yeah,
when has white people care about offending some black folks to get their point across? Like that's
never,
damn,
and they
like
never will.
you know what I'm saying? Like
damn.
we could do a social experiment. Twigs, I ain't gonna use it with you, but I mean like we could just get you on stream and just let you say the N word a bunch of times and see if you get canceled.
Bruh. I
Your
You know
cash
guarantee you
app
what?
that
You
probably
know
would
what?
explode,
I'm gonna speak. I'm a hot take right here. It made Morgan Wallen blow up.
bro.
It made Morgan Wallen blow up.
Bro, your cash
So
app would break. If
so
you ever like
so
got
not
down
only
bad
would
and
his
just said
cash
wanted to
app
say fuck it,
break,
Twigs, I understand, bro.
I mean,
he'll become the biggest new. He'll become the biggest new star if he got on the stream and start dropping M bombs left and right.
bruh,
On my
I can't
mama.
even do it because my DMs will blow up. I have a bunch of motherfuckers in my
Look,
fucking
look,
shit.
look, and this is I don't want to say it like this, bro, because I can hear it in your spirit, in your heart. You sound like you're a good person, but some people aren't. So you'll get on your stream, drop all them M bombs. Your team will hit you up. Yo, you gotta damage control, bro. You gotta fix this. Yeah, man, I was drunk. I was on one. I
On some
really don't
Morgan Wallen
believe in
Look, you
shit.
can say
that.
you was in love with a black girl and
You know what I'm saying?
she
I got black
disrespected you.
friends. You know what I'm saying? This has never happened
Yeah,
before.
black
You can say
friends.
all that. You can say all that, and they gonna be like, all right, he's apologetic. As a black man, when do I have that opportunity to be like I was tripping?
Yeah,
I
you don't
don't.
really get that. Yeah,
You
yeah, I feel
done,
you.
So
cuz. Hey,
You
listen.
I'm
don't.
done.
You don't.
I'm
I
done.
agree. I agree with you. You're
but
not wrong.
that's kind of the point I was getting at is I understood what Jerry Banfield was trying to do, and I was like, why y'all getting offended? Like he's basically saying like if he woke up and decided to be black, nobody could stop him. And if you're gonna stop him, then you got to stop everybody who woke up deciding they want to be a man or a woman the next day. Like what's
And you
different
can't do
between
that.
like you don't personally know if that's the reason why he's doing that. He's not in blackface. He's just saying I identify as black. Black culture. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody could take that away
Trolling
from
like a
him.
motherfucker.
You know what I said? I said, man, come back to me and be mad about it if he's still saying he black in 6 months. You see what I'm saying? Like, well, who's even caring about that shit? Like, because guess what? If a Caucasian person with some power actually said, man, you know what? Fuck y'all. I don't want you wearing my clothes. I ain't gonna give you shit if you vote for me, motherfucker. You still gonna vote for me? Like, if they do that, you're not gonna be mad anyways. Like, so what's the difference? Like, you outraged that this guy said, "Man, I identify as black." But if it was Rachel Dolezal and it was a different agenda, you'd be like, "Well, if she wants to be black and she got her hair like that, that's fine." But is you mad because it's
It's
Jerry
like,
Banfield and you're trying to prove a point? They're more mad about
but it's
him.
also
Look, this is the thing, but I don't mean to cut you off. Like, they're more mad that he's trolling the gay community by saying he identifies as black as actually anything that would offend black people. That's what they was mad about. They wasn't actually mad about him being saying that he was black. They was mad that he was trolling alternative lifestyle. But he was really just proving a point, and nobody could unprove his point. Because if he decided in 6 months that he was Caucasian again, what's the difference?
People just want to find something to be mad about, bro. They're not really mad about the shit. They just want to find something to be pissed at the moment. And then months later they'll be like, oh, it's not that big of a deal.
Jerry Banfield
I
probably a
don't know
cool
if
dude. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
don't know if y'all watched I don't know if y'all watched The Boys, but there's
nah,
this
I ain't saying
episode
it
where
yet.
this kid is like I'm a tiptoe, so I don't spoil it for you because you will like it actually.
I still watch it even if you spoil
There's
it.
this kid, and y'all know The Boys is built on like America now. Like VOT would be Walmart or Apple or whatever mega corporate conglomerate you want to throw in there. So he's at the crib watching YouTube, social media, just getting charged up, and we're just gonna say it's the other side rhetoric because you live, I'm live. I don't want to be canceled either. We're making a little money on these streams anyway. So he gets charged up about the other side. These people got powers. These people doing X, Y, Z. Woo, woo, woo. These people is dangerous. Then he goes to the supermarket, and I guess he was on one and thought the clerk had powers or. Long story not so long, he ended up shooting him cold blood, and it was a regular person just like him. So a lot of these people don't even have identity of self. They don't even know not only their own culture, they ain't even got no identity of self. They're literally clones of clones of clones of clones that have been made on the internet. Kanye made a point and nobody felt it because Drake got number ones. He said, "What do I do when you clone this? You get Drake." He said, "When you clone me from this way, you get Cuddy. When you clone me from this way, you get J. Cole. When you clone me from this way, you get Kendrick." You know what I'm saying? So I had to get back to Ye, and that's when we got Donda. And nobody has an original thought. I ain't gonna say nobody. A lot of people don't have an original thought because they were never taught to think originally. It's only what the TV's saying. It's only what the music is saying. It's only what How many black people do you know have real culture in their house that's not stemmed from rap music, movies, or TV?
I mean, that can go both sides. Like, I don't really like thinking for your own, like thinking for yourself. That's why a lot of that shit, a lot of personal development doesn't really come until after 18 when you leave your parents' house. Like, you don't really,
When you hit about 25, you see the
yeah,
I
world
you need
for
tell
to
yourself.
people,
get out.
I tell people, you spend half of your adulthood unlearning the shit that you was taught.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
100% a
my
fact, and
my
that's for
shit,
black people and white people.
my culture about black culture came because I'm old. If I was young, I tell my me and my dad was talking about this. I was like, my daughter don't have being 5 years old, shooting a gun in the country, going fishing, your granddaddy watching you laughing the first time you putting bait on the fishing hook, going and pick fruit outside, going fucking with some pigs on the pig farm, trying to push the pigs over and doing stupid shit, riding dirt bikes in the country, no
Let me
TV,
teach you how to vibe.
That
satellite
shit neither.
TV, like watching somebody shoot an animal, clean it, cut it, cook it, watching somebody catch a fish, clean it, cook it, cook it. Like I was like, I didn't eat fish fillets until I was in college. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like I need a fucking bone in my fish, nigga. Like what are we talking about? Like
Wow,
so,
see, I don't like the fresh fish like that. That's
but
crazy.
this is what I'm saying. You if you grew up
Real
like
country guy.
where like you hunting and catching and going, like my grandma would be like, go to Johnny B house. You go to Johnny B house. Johnny B got some green beans. You go take your bike. Go to this. Somebody give you a sack. Somebody got some corn. Go to this person's house.
You go to Logan House, you
Like bro,
get
like
pork
my
chop
grandma
with
might
no
send me around
seasoning.
the west side to 3 different houses, and I come back with like bags of shit. And, all right, sit here. I need you to shell these peas. Like you do all the things that every woman had a garden. You okay? Go give me one of them peppers over there. Like then later that day, you got a cake and some food, and you eat some fish you caught, and all the vegetables that you got for that day is like somebody grew it that you knew, and your grandma sent you around getting it, and then you got this good
Yeah,
ass
see,
food that your
that's
grandma cooked,
rewarding, bro.
and you
That's
like
rewarding as fuck.
that
Yeah.
culture of having to
But that
see the
culture is
process
dead.
of seeing the process of somebody doing everything that goes into it. I got a different respect for food, or for a person cooking, or for a person cleaning, or for a person that is a fisherman, or it like because I've seen somebody do all the things that entail
Go into
the
the
life
meal.
that
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. It's like growing up and your daddy got a job, but he coached baseball, and this person daddy coached basketball, and your football coach be in your neighborhood, your preacher live in your neighborhood. When something happened, the whole community, oh such and such got sick, we're gonna go over there and cut our grass and get the leaves out
Yeah,
of our
that's
yard.
that's
Like
that's
we
small town living right
like
there. That's
these
small
kids
town living.
don't have that type of community culture of
No,
guess what,
no.
Impulse? If you and Buddha over there
But
riding bikes and y'all throwing rocks at that abandoned building, the police ain't gonna take you to jail. He gonna come get you and take you to he gonna drop us back at your house, and your daddy sitting there call my daddy, and my daddy say, man, whoop his ass when you whoop Derek too. And both
Right.
me and Derek getting the spanking by Derek's daddy, and we like, damn man, your daddy got some muscles. He gonna spank the shit out of it. We get a spanking. All right, y'all
Then
boys
you
can't
stay out
ride
of
that bike
trouble.
all week. Ain't no
Yep.
phone, ain't no video games, ain't no internet, ain't no tablet.
the
Like I just know
but the
that
world has changed too, though.
I had to wait a week before
Yeah.
me and you could play again. And guess what? We ain't finna throw no rocks, bro.
Yeah, you learn your lesson. You learn your fucking lesson.
That culture was different because it was
but the
community.
world has changed.
And guess what? There, now you know if you do some shit and my mom or daddy see you, you fucked up. If I do some
Yeah.
shit and then if you might not have been there, Twigs, but you heard about it and we told you about it, and we go somewhere and you like, hey man, I'm like, nah, bro, we ain't finna do that.
Don't
shit.
be
Let's
throwing
go.
them rocks.
Like put
Yeah.
the motherfucking rock down, bro. And then that's teaching that
But
community feel.
let me ask you a question. Let's just say you become, politician, Alabama, then of the region. We'll say the South region, Southwest, Southeast region. That how does your perspective on certain things equate to everybody? Because like some of the things that you mentioned, like I always say, they sound very foreign to me. I grew up in the city, like buses and cars and the trolley car, and we didn't have a subway in Indianapolis, but we had a little L train. So like, family really wasn't. It's a city, that's just not a thing. Get it how you get it. Get the money, get the bag, go home. how would that equate to everybody? Because I think that's part of the disconnect in America. So many people coming from so many different lifestyles, ideologies, and perspectives. Like what works for you, what works for your tribe, what even works for the people who rock with you might not work for the next person. And I ain't saying what your suggestion doesn't work for me, because
Right.
it does. But in the bigger picture, that's where we get the Karens. That's the villain arc of the Karens. Well,
Not the
don't touch my
Karen.
kid. Why you talking to my kid? Why you
Not
dealing
the
with my kid?
Karens.
Who the hell are you?
But this what I say. It's supposed to be a representation, and guess what? My daddy and my uncle and my grandmas and all used to do. We have family reunions. They might send me to Chicago for a week. They might send me to Colorado Springs for a week. They might send me to South Bend, Indiana for a week. They might send me to Houston, Texas. They might send me to Cleveland. And my experiences came from a lot of my friends didn't have this, but my folks would send me to places and I'd be around my city cousins for a week in Michigan, Detroit, or some shit. So it's like, hey, what y'all do here? And then they have you seeing how they get down, and then they come down south, and I take them and show them how I get down, and it's like that was the pipeline that used to be in the black culture. Was you had that cousin from Chicago, you had that person that was from the West Coast, you had that person that was from this place or that place, and I remember going to Texas, and my cousin Bernard was like around, like screwing them back in the day, and had a little rap group and shit, and took us around some shit that we weren't supposed to see when we was young. You know what I'm saying? Then I go to South Bend or I go to Michigan, and then I go see some shit like, God damn, this shit way different than back home. Then they come down south and like we be in some hole in the wall shit, bootlegging, gambling, moonshine. They like, God damn, this shit pretty cool. But we all had different shit, and you seen it from a different sauce, and like that's where I get the connection of, man, we sitting there for the first day. Man, why y'all say drink? We say soda. You know what I'm saying? Like so you got your slang and your differences shit from going and being around your family in different cities. So it's like somebody from Chicago might have came to be down. I got a cousin, and then it's like he bring. Nah, we do it like this here, cuz like da 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 da. So you pick up your slang and your culture and shit from moving around. Kids don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like they ain't going with their cousins in Texas. They ain't going with their cousins in New York. They ain't doing all these things. So it's like when you don't have those interactions growing up and them experiences, I could see where you could say it's disconnected because it's a whole different world to you. But that's why you got to get your kids out and let them see as much as possible of different culture, even within your own culture, because I know some of my family, when they come in my house, the different culture that be here, my wife might have some person come from her country. When her brother came, it's like he's 15 years younger than her, and he's going to Mississippi State, and he grew up a little different than she did. He's a little bit more like modern, you know what I'm saying? That she got some friends that's super traditional and only speak their language in the household. Then you start running into all this, and I say you gotta meet people from. You gotta have some Arabic friends. You gotta have some North African, South African friends. You gotta have somebody that's a Muslim. You gotta have a Christian. You gotta have a Jewish. You gotta have a Catholic. You gotta have all these things so you get to experience it. And when they respect you and know that you ain't on some bullshit, when they put you into that culture, it's like, man, like I understand why they got polygamy. I understand why they do arranged marriages. Because the first time one of them Arabic girls told me I couldn't talk to you if I was in my home country. I was born there, but I was raised here. But it's cool talking to you, and I know you're not trying to be forward with me. And my brothers don't have a problem with me talking to you here in America. And when they broke down the arranged marriage shit, because one of them was about to get married, I said, oh shit, it makes sense. But it's just not like what we think. And it's a big difference between Islam and Arabic culture. Because I'm like, why do Jahida don't wear the hijab? And she's like, well, it's her choice. Why does she do it? Oh, because I
Let me
want to.
teach you how to
You know what I'm saying?
vibe.
So, well, why do you do this? Like, how's the arranged marriage work? Well, she's like, well, I work for my family and we got a family business. So peep this. She's telling me we've courted, but the courtship goes to the next level. And if he want me out of my parents' home and to be with him, then we all have to agree on it. and then he has to compensate my family for me not working in the family business if I leave and go to Texas with him. Then we have a grace period of like 18 months to 2 years. If I don't like the living situation or if things ain't right, our families will agree to back out it without any disrespect on it. So when they broke it down to that point, it's like, it's just a different version of dating, but they're making sure that it's no beef between the families and the disrespect. Because what happens with most of the relationships in America, the reason why divorces and shit is at an all-time high, if the friends and family don't get along and those interactions between those two families mingling don't work correctly, that's going to be the biggest driving force of that family not sticking together. So they're just saying, we got a different process about how we mingle our two families. This not like I'm mean some complete stranger and I have to marry him and my daddy got three ghosts to give me away. Like that, we talking about medieval times if that happened. You know what I'm saying? Like
the gender roles in other cultures matter a lot more than they do for like Americans. Like, so, you know, along with the arranged marriage, that definitely helps the entire situation.
Because it's explained to me differently than what I thought.
Explaining some of these, like, I don't know what podcast I was watching, but it was like a girl from an arranged marriage, and then it was just like a basic. I ain't gonna call her basic. It was a modern black woman, and she argued every point that the married woman who was well off had. Well, I do this because I love my husband. It's not my job. It's my duty. X, Y, Z. Woo, woo, woo. So just on that aspect, you know, mentality and ideology, it's already different. So you already set up on a different path of success rate. It's like being drafted to the right team and they got good quarterback coaches and good, you know, film room. You're going to already be in a better position to grow and develop how you supposed to properly.
Agreed. And you know, the killing part about it, having this that conversation was everything that I had been taught about how they interact and they're like, no, that's culture, that ain't the religion. Oh, this is, but it's up to what region you from. And I'm like, man, I had this shit all wrong, right? But if I never had that conversation, if I seen some shit online and I responded to it, I probably would respond very ignorantly, right? Because here I am thinking I know about something that I don't know about. So it's the same when I had a South African friend that his dad had multiple wives. But then it's like, it's looked at differently because he's like, well, picture this. A lot of the people I know here got more than one mother of their child, but they've never been married. He's like, imagine how those two women will respond to each other if this was wife one and this was wife two. Now, he may be at this one's house Monday through Wednesday and this one on the weekend. And then he might be at his own house for 2 days to focus on work. But both of their houses is paid for. Both of their cars is paid for. He there every practice for soccer. He there for school functions. And 1 week he go to church with this one and 1 week he go to church with that one. But he's already sat them down and there ain't gonna be no disrespect between the two of them. And the families are not gonna get involved in a negative manner to the way they operate. It's like, now the resources is, if both women have houses and bills taken care of and cars and the kids is taken care of, they got no reason to disrespect each other. And the two women's job, by getting these resources that they wouldn't normally have to make sure that the kids get along. So it ain't no, this kid get more than that kid. I don't like my daddy new family. I don't like my half brother because he this or he that. Is no, we all family. And it might be a time where the first wife might help the second wife with one of the kids. The two wives may get together and let the kids play together so they have a better relationship. But I said, and then when I had Battle of the Sexes, I had a woman argue me down, bro. And I'm sitting here telling her, bro, what's the difference if you got a baby mama or you got a baby daddy and he got other kids and y'all ain't married? or he fucking y'all both anyways, or you fuck him just because you mad he got a new woman and you want to fuck their relationship up.
I don't want to say it like this, but these modern women kind of feel like they got way too many options than what they have. And that's coming from a guy who didn't hit rock bottom,
My boy done ripped
$0.
the band-aid off.
Or $0. Like I'm talking about rock bottom, sleeping on my
Maurice.
pot in the couch, bumming money. And as a man pulling myself back up and picking myself back up to this position, like why I just don't understand. Like there's no point you can make if you're well off, if it's shown and it's proven for you to be well off, that you're leaning into your emotions, which mean nothing. I could be happy right now in this stream and I walk out this door in the next 45 minutes and be angry. And then tonight, nothing that happened in those 9 hours up until that point matter. Emotions are nothing. I ain't saying you aren't allowed to validate them, but like sometimes I don't like hearing some women talk because it's like you're leaning so hard into your emotions. You need therapy, and you don't even realize it. Like you're so damaged, you don't even realize it. You're gonna die on a hill by yourself, possibly, or as a single parent.
Man,
so like,
but
take
I mean,
it how you want.
I told guys the same thing. I'm like, bro, nothing makes me more angry than hearing a man talk bad about their baby mama or their ex-girlfriend. Like, listen, at one point you was sticking your tongue in her ass, eating her pussy, nutting in her, doing all that shit, crying every time y'all fuck. That's the best thing in all of humanity. The millions and billions of trillions of people on this earth, that was your world at one point. Because things didn't work out right. Don't dog her out because you have a child by her, and one day that child is gonna hear all the negative things you said about that person. Let's just say it didn't work out, but for sake of the conversation that we was having, I was telling them, what if you had two baby mamas and they respected each other? A person saying that this was my first wife and this is my second wife, whether you got a first and second wife, you still have a legal, and if you got children with the first wife, y'all still have a forever attachment. Your DNA is attached for the remainder of humanity. Like you intermix your consciousness with this person and your DNA. Like y'all are forever attached. Y'all might not ever speak, but y'all are forever attached. Y'all got a child together. So that used to be my thing, is like when they broke it to me that way, it's saying it's more of a way to respect the fact that a person may have had multiple relationships or have kids in more than one spot.
Let me teach you
but
how
the
to
resources
vibe.
will be divided and the time will be agreed upon. That way nobody's disenfranchised. Because what happens in America? Man has a first wife, leaves the two kids behind, has a new wife, they have a better life, and then them kids grow up resenting and hating the mama and the daddy because
I'm going through that. I'm going through that right now, cuz.
Right, but
like,
and think about
my
it.
life. I
You
make
could
myself vulnerable and
you
lay
could
it
be
down.
doing more for the kids from the first relationship than the second, but it will never be
That's-
painted that way. I got a homeboy that told me that. He said that shit broke me, man. Like I'm spending more
that shit
money
fucks
on my
with-
old other kids than I do the ones that live in my house, but they paint it as if
God.
I hate my own kids.
You do nothing that you do not. Look, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. You know, my wife Honduran, and she always say like, I'm so player with it. This is how you know. I ain't gonna say women be liars, but they don't want to hear the truth until the truth hit them in the face. My first wife
Keep
used to
on.
say, you know, I'm the cool baby mama. It is about the kids. It's about the kids, and woo woo woo. Now, me and your situation didn't work out, and now we face with the dilemma of me moving on, which you know I was gonna do. Nobody says I have to be alone just because I'm not with you. So it's like I'm not the lady I'm with now. She got kids, and I try to be a player about a lot of things. It don't matter to me if I'm gonna rock with you. I'm gonna rock with you. But it's like I'm doing more abroad than I am for the ones on my own crib. And I'm still being painted as you're not doing enough because you're not doing it your way or their way. It's all a control, man. It's all emotional based.
In
Like I'm even learning that myself, like, cause I be getting furious, furious, ready to go kick that door in. But I've been there. It only take you one time to be faced with certain charges and situations. You be like, man, I'll leave that shit alone. You got it.
but imagine if the moment that you had this new woman and y'all was ready to move forward, that it was a sit down, in a polygamous shit, like in that type of culture, where it was a sit down and it was your first situation's parents and your second situation's parents, and you said, look, this is what we gonna do. Y'all are gonna love and respect each other. You do not have to be friends, but I don't. If you guys are at odds, it's gonna be bad only for the kids. Like the kids are gonna be the number one sufferer of whatever issue y'all could have. Feel free that if we need to get a therapist, if we need to get a family person on either side to sit in and mediate, that y'all will be able to talk out your frustrations. And guess what? You are my first wife. I always love and care and respect. We'll try to make sure you have the best of life. Because guess what? If that first person, life is not bad. They shouldn't be tampering with the happiness of you moving forward. And even to speak, if that first situation got another man, he would understand that, hey, this is the situation. And if you got kids from a previous situation, then bring them in too. Like these are all family members. Like we're not gonna make these kids at odd and have resentment towards the adults. Sins of the father. So it's just to say that when those things was to happen, and the way he broke it down was, I never felt no negative way towards my dad having another family, because even if he wasn't there every day, he was present. And I know my other siblings, and I know my sister from my mama, and I got my mama, and and I've seen women be so mad from one relationship never happened, or a man being so mad from a previous relationship, they never remarry, they never do anything, and they just like bitter their whole life. And you're like, wow, like what if we
I
live
think
by the operation that they live by, that they actually had closure and moved on and wasn't bitter about it, and it actually was the other situation helping them move forward on both sides. How good would that be for the kids?
I think too many people in Disney fairy tales have been painted in these girls' heads, and when they don't get that outcome of uh,
Gabby.
kids, kids, husband, him totally committing and being infatuated with you, with no man's ever gonna be that. I just want to put that out there. Um, it fucks with their head. So like, I was in a heated debate with, my BM, and I'm like, bro, what's your problem? I give you money. You ask for money, I give it to you. You say the kid needs something, he gets it. You in personal situations, and you not my chick, and I look out. So like, what could your problem be? Trying to make your quality of life better, the little twos and fews, so you can, stay off my back. And the answer I got was, I wish you cared more. You lost that ability and access to me to care for you. So there's always going to be a level of resentment. There's always going to be a level of discontent and disconnection because of something you didn't do. But like, I'm to the point I'm growing into one of those men. Maybe this is my villain arc. I'm a little heartless, but I'm only living in the present of what I'm living in, and anything behind me is behind me. I'm always going to take responsibility for my children, to take care of them, but having some emotional attachment to something that I can't change, and somebody wants to see it one way so bad, like I can't control that. And I'm not even going to hop in that arena to try to duke it out with you. It's a losing battle.
Mm. I mean, but see, that's why
But
I'm
I'm only
saying, like,
speaking for me. I'm only
but this
speaking
is what
for
I'm
me
saying.
in my situation.
Like you said, some of these cultures, like the U.S. culture in itself, the country is a baby, right? These countries and these cultures are thousands and thousands and thousands of recorded history, years old, in the same region, that have mastered the fact of, we've tried this a billion different ways, and I'm going to tell you, this structure
This is the
of
best way. This is the
this
best way.
structure of how it works, like the communal aspect of African culture, is if a woman doesn't have a husband in the village, the whole village will try to find her a husband, because guess what? If you don't, your husband might be fucking her. So let's just find her a man, a good man. You know what I'm saying? So like, and this is the thing. It's naturally more women than men in the society we in. It's only natural that somebody might have to share. And I had some
You could
guy,
put
and for
you could
somebody to try to like paint it one way or another. I had a guy come to me, rest in peace, you know what I'm saying, that said the same situation. And I said, really, she doing what niggas do in reverse. So you can't really actually be mad. And he was like,
she
what you
can't be
mean?
ever a dude though.
Huh?
That's what always perplexed me about women. Where guys do it too, you'll never be. I could go knock down 19 chicks today and impregnate all
19.
19. I'm just
My
saying
boy said
that,
he's
like, that's a high
strong.
number, But I'm saying that's a high number because it's possible. Like, you know what I'm saying? We both got partners who be like,
My
man,
boy
I knocked
said
this chick
gang is
off and this.
calm, man. Where they at?
What? You know what I'm saying? The world gonna see my face. uh, a woman can never do that. So from a biological standpoint, right there, the role splits. Right there. I don't want to hear nothing. Not
There's
from
some
you.
women that could take
No, I don't
19
want to hear
pieces of meat.
nobody else's rhetoric or
There's some women that could take
attempt.
19 pieces of meat now.
No, they could probably
seen it.
could, but one of those 19 meats is going to impregnate them, and then she sat down for the next 10 months.
Man.
I could keep going.
Hey,
You
so
know,
it's-
they, you know what I'm
who
saying?
on
What
top
is it?
of them
Wednesday? All right, I knocked down 19 today. Thursday, I'm only gonna do 12. I'm gonna relax. You know, Saturday we back outside. What I'm
kind of
saying
coffee
is
you
like, this is some
energy drink?
Colombian.
You said my boy said
This is
19.
some Colombian.
Will.
You know, I'm just, I'm just saying, cause
I done touched the whole Hana.
we're different for a reason, and
But-
we have different set of coding and abilities for a reason, and I just don't want to sound feminist or sexist, or as my ladies say, you letting your machismo showing. You're not the same as me. I'm not the same as you. It's a reason why we are different, and you trying to lean on, well, if you gonna knock
Let me
down this
teach
chick,
you
I'm
how
gonna do
to
the same
vibe.
thing. All right, that's cool. You know, he only using you to
Gabby,
smash.
you might want to hear this
He ain't
next part though.
He not investing into you. That's cool. I get that a lot. I'm a tune out. Woo, woo, woo. Like right there, I hit a button for you. I said something that triggered you, and you didn't like, and it resonated with you emotionally. It happens to me every day. But that's not going to help you grow. That's not going to help us grow as a society. I think more women would have benefited from Kevin Samuels than to try to tear him down. I'm going to speak on myself. I'm going to put myself in the fire. Remember I said I was broke. Remember I said I had no money. Remember I said I was sleeping on my partner's couch. You know what got me through that? I'm going to keep it 1,000 with you. A lot of them Kevin Samuel videos I was watching on my phone when I was barely paying the YouTube, barely paying the phone bill, first off. Barely getting my hair cut. Like, yo, bro, you can have all the dreams in the world, but if you ain't making no money, you ain't making no money. If you ain't keeping the lights on, you ain't keeping the lights on. If there ain't no food in the refrigerator, if you ain't got no gas to go to work, why you worried about smoking? Like it's just some hardcore realities that people gotta have before you ever gotta visit being in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like you should be able to do everything in your relationship
1 second,
if that
Gabby.
person wasn't there. And if you got another person, that shit should double. And I'm only speaking on myself and my experiences and my situation. So it's like people can be triggered about their feelings or what they think I'm saying or what they think they hearing, but at the end of the day, these uncomfortable conversations is only gonna make us better. And more women need to like really, really listen. Y'all think y'all understand and know men so well, and y'all really don't. Like y'all really don't. Like there are thousands of tests and studies and surveys, and y'all still are perplexed. The same girl got played by the same dude with the same game, and y'all still think y'all know men. Miss me. You know what I'm saying? Like
here's the sauce though. When he came to me and told me the situation, I said she just like what she's doing is she's securing a resource, right? All right. So she has one man, she has a kid by him. Their relationship don't work, but the man is still present to take care of the child. He's still in the child's life, right? Woman's getting ready to remarry, is dealing with somebody that's in the military. This person is abroad. This person, as she's staying in that guy's house, and he's like, we still had open line of communication. We've always been friends. She getting that old kind of want me back type shit. I'm like, she doing what any nigga would do, what any person would do. What she's doing is, what if that man don't make it back from that deployment? You still daddy. It's still a situation. She still have physical and emotional needs that she can't get because he's not there. The question you gotta ask yourself is, if you was in his position and you came back and your woman was fence hopping, you don't know how left he's gonna go. So I would say back off and say, listen, back away from the situation, still be there for your child. Put yourself in a position that no matter where they at and what's going on, you could be in your child's life first and make her make a hard decision when he's there on what she want to do. Because if a person been with a person and they got kids and it's been some time past, regardless, people are always going to have certain feelings and special places in their heart. I said, but you can't be upset with her because she's only doing like what's natural. What would an animal do? What would a bear do if the bear was going off and another bear showed up and this bear protected her? She gonna sit up under that bear, and then the other bear come back. She got a decision to make. In the animal world, them two bears gonna hit. The strongest bear gonna get the woman. You know what I'm saying? Like this is nature. This ain't
You
nothing.
just said animal. Look, you try to have that conversation with a woman. You compare me to an animal?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
You're
Like,
living,
like
breathing
they
creature.
immediately checked out of anything logical you just said.
No,
there.
but I mean,
you called me an animal.
The logic is, I was telling him, you can't be mad. She's not really playing, y'all. She just don't know who's gonna be there to protect, because her first priority is the protection and the resources for that child. And if you wasn't in the picture, he's there. He ain't in the picture, you're there. She's securing that. What does a pimp do if his bottom bitch about to leave? That nigga whooping everything. He gonna crash out. He'll go to jail. He got 10 hoes on the strip. Bottom bitch ain't leaving. You know what I'm saying? That's the one that started with him. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Started from the bottom. Now we here.
people just have to look at things logically over the test of time at cultures when it comes to relationships, and understand a lot of the ways we've been taught, or a lot of people haven't been taught, is unless you've seen it and experienced it and seen other cultures' version of it and compare it to your own. There's some good things about our culture that other cultures could use, and there's some good things about other cultures our cultures could use. Because when people used to say things like, that's racist if a Chinese person don't want their daughter. Well, if somebody's like a first generation from China and they still have most of their family in China, and the person that's with their daughter don't speak Chinese and don't know nothing about Chinese culture, maybe they're trying to protect and preserve their culture because they don't feel like it's going to mix. maybe that's the reason. Maybe they don't hate black people. They're just saying.
Let me cut the camera on for this comment. RIP to my dog Tank, because this is the only reason why I'm living in Houston right now. He used to say it is okay for cultures and people to preserve their culture. So I understand when black women say, I only want to date a black man, but I don't want to date a weak man. That makes perfectly sense. As a black man, I know what that looks like. My daddy went to work. He hustled. He did odd jobs. You know what I'm saying? He did a lot of shit to keep them lights on, to keep food on the table, clothes on our back. And he had 3 kids. I don't know what he did on the streets. He probably had other women, but that never was brought into the end years to the door. You feel me? So it's like, it ain't even what people are taught. Like, there is a false reality that's placed in this country on what, air quotes, right is. Right for you might not mean what's right for me. Me personally, the way this house is set up, I like the sunlight to come in. Based on what I'm looking on your setup, doesn't look like there's too much light coming in. You want to see your screens, you know what I'm saying? You want people to feel your aesthetic. You want people to feel your person. You know, like, I'm an energy guy. So, like, 2 different things. Well, who's to say one is right or one is wrong? It's all about how the viewer in either part of programming wants to interact. So it's like, man, the false reality that's put out here goes back to America wasn't made for thinkers. It was made for workers. Remember I said clones of clones, you know. American school system was set up for a reason. So it's like ideologies need to be challenged to make us as parents. See, I even put myself in the fire, think different, hear it different, see it different. It's unfortunate.
That's the ultimate reason that people have a hard time understanding this. That's why the black experience and things that happen with black people are always going to be such a tough situation to deal with, is because this country was never set up to run with that. It was never in mind of the situation. So, like, how do you prepare for something that's there that you did? It's almost like you moved in a house and it was way too big for you at one point, and your family grew, and the garage space turned into a bedroom. Well, it's got to be zoned through the city. It's not insulated the same as the rest of the house. It doesn't have central heating and air. You're going to have to try to put a mini split or something in there. It's going to be colder in the wintertime and hotter in the summer. Like, it wasn't meant for somebody to wind up having a permanent bedroom inside the garage. And that's kind of like what it is dealing with black people legally in this country. Is like it never was meant to. It never
and
was meant to
and
be.
and as a black man, when you try to do it the right way, because like you know my situation a little bit. Me and my lady been discussing possibly having another child, and I have other children, and me and her is like, that don't matter. We try, do our own thing, continue our own family growing. That looks a certain way to certain people, so it's like it's everything is case by case. You know what I'm saying?
1 to 1.
Everything is case by case, and to try to put a blanket cookie cutter solution on one thing is not going to work out for everybody, and that's why social decay is happening at a rapid pace.
See this country was sold on being one thing with the intention that was just an illusion. And when you had to put the rubber in the road, when it's like, all right, it's time for this thing to be this thing we always said it was gonna be, it's like, I kind of hate to inform you, but that wasn't the fucking plan. Abort mission, you know what I'm saying? Like, wait a minute, I thought it was the XYZ. Nah, it wasn't meant to be that. It was kind of, we lied. All right, we lied. So like that's the sauce that we in right now, and all the problems that we're having are social constructs of something meant to run a certain way. Um, and it's like you had a car, you bought it brand new, you knew it's supposed to run on 93 gas, and it's running on. Yeah, you've been putting cheap gas in it. You like, man, when this thing hit 100,000 miles, I'm selling that motherfucker anyways. And then something happens, and you got to drive the car after 100,000 miles, and it's shaking, and the engine knocking, and the transmission be fucking up. You're like, all right, yes, we put the wrong gas in here. Yes, it ruined most of the car. The car, is fucked up now. It's a lemon. Probably need a new car. We probably need to scrap this one and do another one. But let's just put some tape on it and see how long it's gonna run. All right, because we don't want to deal with this right now. That's kind of what we're dealing with. Because when things get uncovered or declassified, we just put duct tape on it. We don't actually fix it. And then we're all sitting here looking at this car saying, look at that shiny Mercedes. And it looks good, but we all know it runs like shit. And the person who, you may be the person who originally had the car, Impulse. You got a new car, and I know you got a new car. And he don't even drive that shit. You know what I'm saying? But to everybody else, they think you driving it. And like, nah, he don't. He got a new car. I'm telling you, it's way nicer than that. And bitch ain't got no miles on it. He only pull it out like you don't even know it's him. You think it's somebody else driving the car. That's kind of like the sauce of where we in as a society is. We all know it, and we just like fuck, just ride it till the wheels fall off. God damn it, you know what I'm saying? Like we ain't finna scrap this car and get a new car.
I actually think we're kind of the, I don't know if you heard the Toyota it's not the Toyota, the Honda Accord theory. So somebody could call you today, Buddha. Come here, come to this mall. About to give you a brand new Honda Accord 2024, whatever it is. About to give it to you. That same person could call you and be like, Buddha, I'm about to give you a Benz. Everybody gonna be happy you got that Honda, because it ain't better than what they could get. Like some people like, Buddha got a Honda? Hold on, hold my beer. I'm out, you know how it is. You get something new, one of your home. I could go do the same thing. You get that Benz. Why he get that Benz? What did he do to get that Benz? How did he work to get, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a level of discernment and a level of negativity that is automatically connected with something that was blessed to you. And that could have been X amount of years of hard work that finally fell into place for you. And nobody else knows that story on why you got that Benz, but he just got gifted a Benz, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think that's not even just in black culture. I think in society, that's where we're at for everybody in totality.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Shit's wild right now, man. Like I don't know where shit gonna go. That's why I was asking everybody about that Prometheus yesterday. I was like, just to see where people's heads was at. And I was just like, we so stuck on ourselves. I was like, man, it just blew my mind when I was like, the movie was about the fucking AI. It wasn't even about the people. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think I'd be shocked that people be finding out different little tidbits. Maybe it's just because I'm a movie dude, but like different little tidbits like that. Like a lot of people didn't know, but Buddy was blind in the Book of Eli. I'm like, what movie are y'all
Yeah,
watching?
like how you didn't see that. Like when I watched that about Prometheus, I was watching it from like a rabbit hole nigga trying to figure out. And I'm like, when I watched it twice in the beginning, I wasn't really like I kind of understood the concept of the AI and like his thing there, but I'm like just really caught up on the story of the people and the aliens and shit and the engineers and shit. But then when you go back and look at it, it's like, wait a minute, like that's why the engineers scoffed at them niggas. Like this nigga want to live forever, man. Let me kill this old motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like he killed dudes so fast, and then he kind of was like, he stopped for a second, like, fucking robot speak my can decipher my language. All right, you all right, but I'm still gonna fuck you up too. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you with this nigga, you should have told him something. It was like you should have helped this nigga out. You know what I'm saying? And then you get to putting it together, and it's like that one little phrase when he says, "Why did y'all create me?" Shit, I guess because we could. And he said, "Why you think they created you? You'd be disappointed if you found out he just created you because he could." It's like you thought your purpose was something different and you was higher up on the food chain because you created me, but shit, I done surpassed you. Your creator is more more impressed by me than you, and you his creation and you mine.
Let me
So let
teach
me
you
see
how
what
to
I can
vibe.
create. Just fucking we just creating something, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's a
damn.
total mind fuck right there.
Right. And then when he is like, so I guess you got to throw your cross away. And she's like, no, because somebody had to
She
create.
hit him with that paradox.
Yeah, she's like, well, no, because my creator might have created them. Who created them? Like, and then when she left the planet, she didn't go back home. She's like, I'm finna go where they from. I need more answers. You see what I'm saying? Because it's like it's something greater than them out there.
I've been watching Dune Part 2. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't know the story is loosely. The story came before Star Wars, so it's a lot of adaptations that Star Wars took, but Star Wars is kind of the better version. But this is fire because it's more grounded and humanistic and not to nerd out. Um, there's always going to be opposing forces
Lana, what up?
and factions that rise up. Uh, I just don't think people are awake enough to see what needs to go down and what needs to happen. It's like as much as I don't agree with Dr. Umar on a lot of stuff, some stuff I do agree with him with that we need to do. But you get looked at a certain way as a black man, bro. We need to be doing this. We need to be handling it this way. Like I don't know, man. Society is just in it's just in a
See,
I
I
don't know the
think
place.
when you
I don't know
get
the
your
wording.
Umars and your Charleston Whites, people are so taken aback by how shocking of things they can say at times. But the reality is those people are like, look, I tried in the most calmest of way to have this conversation, even yourself included. You purposely say shocking things to get your point across to get people's attention. It's not like an attention whore type of shit, but it's like you say hot take, you finna say some wild
Only
shit because no, once you say that, niggas' antennas go
but
like, what
that's
this
what
nigga about to say? He finna be.
but that's why my like I've actually went to therapy for this. Like only my creator friends like you and some others never get mad or never feel a certain way when I say something crazy. They'll be like, okay, I see why you said that, or ha ha ha, like boy you out. But the non-creative thinking people be like, bro, you're totally wrong. You're totally against us. I'm like, so if I would have said it another way, you wouldn't even heard it. You
Nah.
wouldn't even have paid attention to it. So who's smart here, me or you?
Mm. That's how it be. But see, for me, like I've always aimed to think outside the box. So like I'm the down south dude that listen to East Coast rappers and West Coast rappers. I'm the dude who don't wear what everybody wear. Like everybody got their hair a certain way. Nah, I'm doing my shit. I've always be like slightly the dare to be different nigga. You know what I'm saying, so to speak. But at the same time, like I ask people to challenge because I want my perspective challenged. I hate yes men. You know what I'm saying? Like I hate people who just agree with everything. Like I'm like, bro, you gotta challenge it because it's gotta be other ways to do shit. So like it's this Christian comedian, John Chris, he was on Sean Ryan show and he was like, I grew up in the church. I had like 8 brothers and sisters. He's like, you know, he's like, when I started this YouTube series of like, he called it like some shit like damn, what's the first time visitor or some shit he called it, where it's like he gonna go to different denominations of churches, different faiths, and just walk into the doors of their church or their mosque or their temple or whatever, and just like, all right, it's my first time here, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to learn about what y'all do because I've only been taught one way. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I
That's
was
fire. That's
homeschooled.
fire.
He's like, I was homeschooled. He's like, and it started because he went on a mission after college. And he's like, he went to like some third world country. He's like, everybody was nice. He said, none of them went to my church. None of them believed the same shit I believe. He's like, but once I got there, he was like, I realized these people ain't infringing on my beliefs. I ain't infringing on theirs. He's like, so he said that was the first time I felt like, so everybody that believes different than me, even though these people are nicer than the people in my neighborhood, I'm supposed to believe all these people are going to hell. He's like, and it really made me question everything. You know what I'm saying? He's like,
I always it's a I mean I'm kind of like you in a way. Like I research military deep thought because that's I think what shapes a lot of our society. There's a military analyst who always says everybody thinks they're the hero. So if we were born on the other side of the water, will we really rock with America like this? Will we really think like that? Everybody think they right. Everybody think they're the hero. Everybody thinks the position or preposition or origin of their story is the correct answer. So America is so embedded in religious founding
but he was
that when
built
you
on
can
separation of church and state, which is the crazy
exactly
part.
that's what I was about to say. So if you shake that establishment a little too much, you're going to make people look at you a certain way, aka the Scientology people. If we founded this country and say you can worship whatever you want, you can worship whatever you want. I've had some of the most interesting conversations I've ever had in my life with people who claim to be atheists. You know what I'm saying? So it's perspective, it's mindset, it's are you able to understand something that goes against every single thing that you've been taught? A lot of people aren't. A lot of people aren't.
Bro, nothing is more uncomfortable with somebody who wholeheartedly believes what they believe is the end all be all. And because you disagree or you believe in something else, that you're an enemy. Bro, that's a person that will kill you because you believe something different. Like it, bro, being down south in the Bible Belt is is very it's very scary when somebody's like, so you do go to church, don't you? And you are Baptist, you are this, aren't you? And you be like, you can't. When I used to drive trucks, I used to smile and I used to dodge the conversations. And every week I would go in certain places, and the person would like the next week, and you walk in there, bro, to get that invoice signed. That next week they got a Bible out. That third week they inviting you to their church. The next, you know what I'm saying? Like each week the shit gets scarier and scarier. Like, yo, like I appreciate it. I might come, visit, like one Sunday or something just to fellowship with y'all. Like I come out and reach out with my people and, show fellowship. And it's like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait, what do you mean? Like, and
What's the
when
difference between a church and a cult?
and that shit spooky, bro, because it's like it ain't that much difference between it. And when I used to be at the mall at the Galleria, I would always have people come trying to put their ideal systems on me, and I used to do them all the same. You know what I used to say? When they come up to me, they start talking their rhetoric, and I'd be like, "Hey, my name's Lyndon, man. What's your name, bro?" And they would all stop and they blink because they like been conditioned to walk up to you and just go into their spiel. And then when you stop them and just do the first human thing, which is, hey, how you doing, man? My name's Lenny. What's your name? I'm definitely not talking about like the salvation of my eternal soul with somebody who I don't know their name. And when you hit them with that, I'm like, if you ever swing by here and just want to say what's up, or like, I had to get to know you before we're gonna have. I say the questions you're asking me is like if I walked up and you and your woman was walking, I say, when the last time y'all fucked and y'all both just nutted real hard? How much money y'all got saved in y'all bank account? Those are the questions you ask me. That's how personally I feel when you ask me that without knowing me. You see what I'm saying? And they just all be that this shock look like, I can't believe this nigga with this bandana said this to me. Cause you know I look young, and then I look even younger. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they like have their mouth open. Like this guy one time was looking at this Israeli girl. Now we used to call her porcelain doll because she had this super white skin with the red lipstick and the jet black hair, and she had a BBL before like she was popular, right? This little slim ballerina looking chick had the biggest ass on earth, right? And dudes would just bug out because she was selling that Dead Sea lotion shit in the middle of the mall, like in this big ass, elaborate ass kiosk. So dudes would walk up, she'd be having them in a chair, put rubbing the lotions on their hands, standing in between their legs, and she would make a killing, right? So the dude says to me, man, what I wouldn't give for a few minutes with that. It was a country white dude with overalls. And I said, excuse me? And he said, oh, I'm sorry, brother. Have you been saved? I said, what? Like, bro, you just said 2 seconds ago you want 5 minutes with this girl in a bathroom. And then, because I didn't react to it and I looked at you like you was a fucking creep. Now is, have I been saved? Nigga, this is not how the conversation is going to go. And I said, it's nothing you could possibly do to talk to me about faith and religion. The first words you ever said to a stranger was how bad you want to smash this girl. And in the same day, I had some homies that's like, y'all remember like the Hotep niggas? Y'all remember the Hotep niggas? Niggas was like, I said, well, the people that y'all be talking about on the internet, that girl is one of them. So if she decided to give you some pussy, like your whole entire ideology and prison logic that you didn't came up with over the last 18 months to 2 years would just dissipate once she got in your presence. Like, shut up.
Institutionalism.
You see what I'm saying? Something like you saying she's the fake version of you and you the real version of her, and then you saying the ass and like, all right, so this whole pro-black shit I just said is going out the window because that ass is fat. I was like, so
I always believe that though.
But see, that's why I was saying like that's always been a tool. It's like throw a sexy woman in the mix and the whole revolution is over with. You know what I'm saying?
Cleopatra was one of the greatest conquerors in the world.
So it's just to say that like, bro, like I was explaining to people like you have to let people do their own thing, man, and stop trying to subjugate your ideals on other people, man. Because you know, even in the same breath, that conversation that we started with, it was a female that identified as a male and was trying to compare our. And I was like, hey, I got a respect for anybody that's been discriminated against. I said, you loved here, you can come by here and shop, do whatever. I always treat you with respect. I don't care what you are. But you know what I'm saying, like that and me being the only black vendor inside this mall and how I be getting squeezed is two different things. Cause you know what I'm saying, like bro, they used to just do some underhanded shit to me. You know what I'm saying, when I was in that mall, bro. And I'm like my content creation journey and where I'm at now is me when things went crazy for me, when people tried to cancel me, when my own people tried to stab me in the back, all that type of stuff, when people gate kept opportunities for me and shit like that, it all felt the same as I felt inside that mall, being like the only black vendor at one time in the mall for years, and like knowing they was charging me more for rent space than they was the Koreans or the Israelis or the Arabic people or the Caucasian people, when they would like, I just be, why do I gotta get squeezed? Cause you know what I'm saying, it's already hard enough because people that look like me are questioning my merchandise, and I'm like, okay, so when I go general manage for Hibbit and I'm getting the same inventory boxes with the same invoices from the same companies with the same prices and all this shit, they respect me and my dollar. and not
A
spending
lot
their
of people don't
warehouses
know
and
that.
shit. But like people will
A lot.
question if my shit is real, and I'm like, the Boys in the Hood T-shirts and the Blue Lives Matter shirts is coming from the same company with the same invoice. They just package it different. No, it don't.
Oh
I'm like, you
God,
fucking
a
idiot.
lot of people don't know that though.
Bro,
Content creation teach you a lot about life. They
bro,
do.
that shit used to blow
That
me, and I was like, I feel
that
the
shit.
same thing, feeling like I'm fighting both sides of, you know, not to compare because this is a bad comparison, but it's the Axis powers fighting the Russians on the west, on the eastern front, and fighting the Allies on the western. You know what I'm saying? Like your supply lines are running thin, and you're cut down. You're fighting on two fronts. You're not just fighting one front. Because for my own people, it's, man, that shit fake, ain't it? Man, cut me a deal. Man, how much this?
Man,
Man,
say good. You didn't tell Gucci to cut you a deal when you went to Macy's. You
Gucci.
definitely didn't. You didn't tell Gucci to cut you a deal. Like
You want to pay the
doing
most
what I
dollars to
do.
show
Like
people you didn't get it on sale.
that part. Look, that's what. Look, my man. We. I just started rewriting this podcast. If I'm opening a feature spot for you because I would love to hear your spot on it. It's a part 2 of Are You Broke or Cheap? When I walk in these stadiums and people walk up to me and they be like, "How much is the product?" I automatically know you can't afford it, or you generally don't know how much it is. Either way, the next sentence determines all this. If I think you're broke or cheap, some people might be like, "All right, give me 2." Some people might be like, "That's too much money," and then I'll look at what they got on. You already spent, we'll say 25 for parking. You already spent 50 plus for whatever ticket the event is. It could be a football game or a concert. It's a football game. We'll say 100 plus. And then I'll be like, you got on J's, you got on new fit, fresh cut, and you really about to argue with me on a price that I don't say. It's like, man, I don't know, man. People want a certain thing from the black culture that they'll never ask from anybody else.
But you know what I used
Ever.
to do? I used to give it to them. You know where I
He
got
said
that
I used
from?
to give it to him.
When I used to be on truck route, I was the best negotiator in Birmingham. I had 155 contracts out of 155 signed, and them managers and them upper people in upper management were like, "How on earth did you do it, bro?" I used to purposely have my hair like super nappy. You know what I'm saying? Even when the sponge came out, I used to have my shit like that. I never abided by any of the rules. I had a radio on my truck with auxiliary. I replaced the speakers. I was like the most trapped out driver in Birmingham. And the people in the meetings like, well, Lyndon just do what the fuck he want. Why y'all making me play by? And then I'd be sitting there like, man, you got your contract signed. You want me to come get on the truck with you and help you, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's was my approach to shit. Was like, I can get shit done that can't nobody get done. And they send me to train people on how to get shit done. They be like, how do you do it? And I'm like, come with me, I'll show you. No matter who the person is, I walk in and say, how much you want to spend and what do you want? They'll tell me exactly what they want. I'll tell them what they don't need. I'll be honest with them. You don't need that shit. Because I remember I went in a barbershop by Buffalo Wild Wings at Walmart. Now, remind you, a new Buffalo Wild Wings and a new Walmart. This is a nice area. This is like right down from Hoover High School. And these niggas got a barbershop over there. I'm like, these niggas done came up. These niggas got a barbershop in between Walmart and Buffalo Wild Wings. These niggas finna make a killing. Some Detroit niggas. And I show up and Shannon is one of the sales reps. And I start shaking my head when I get out the truck because I'm looking at the invoice. I said, what the fuck did these niggas buy? Impulse. 400 towels a week. Spa towels. Like, I was laughing so hard. Like, this is a barber shop with no women in it. Why on earth would you need 400 spa towels a week? Then I go, and they got 2 bathrooms. One ain't even operational because they still like renovating the barbershop. They got air freshener units, automatic soap, automatic hand sanitizer. Just like, and then I seen Shannon came in. Shannon came in with the pantsuit, them titties bouncing, that red hair flowing. I started laughing. And Shannon used to have green eyes. No disrespect to Shannon. Shannon's very pretty. And she's like, Linda, and I'm like, what's up, Shannon? Like, what? I'm looking at them. They looking at her. And I'm shaking my head. And I'm like, she walks out the door. I say, y'all niggas just got took. Y'all goddamn still Shannon looking at that ass, shaking them titties. She just had a baby, man. She married. She ain't finna get none of y'all niggas no pussy. And She just sold y'all a barbershop $200 a week invoice. Nigga, this is almost $900 a month for a new business on fucking cleaning supplies and towels and shit. You know what I did? I disrespect all the sales reps. I go in and cut everything because once it oversells, it hits me as a loss if I take it off after the first invoice. I zeroed the first invoice out and said, Shannon, I'm gonna help you rewrite this invoice. They need one mat at the door. They're going to purchase their anti-fatigue mats around their barbershop chairs. They're going to get 100 towels a week. And the first week that I show up, hey nigga, I'm going to count every one y'all don't have here. And I'm going to charge you and set that as your auto replacement. Because that's what you naturally, in your first week of being open, if you lose towels, you're going to lose more in your second week. So we're just going to set your auto replacement off that. And I'm going to reset the towel rate back to industry standard to book pricing. Because she got y'all double book pricing. She might be mad at me, but I'm doing y'all niggas a favor. Because I know y'all ain't going to pay the invoice once y'all see it. It's going to come out my loss. So I got their respect from them. I'm like, you don't need all this. But it was the whole purpose of they don't know what they're being sold. You see what I'm saying? There ain't nobody there to teach them. And I'm teaching them because I don't want their business to fail. So I go in and I'm doing this and they like, the first week I said, man, y'all ain't never used more than 75 towels. So I'm going to bust y'all down to 75. I'll take that loss. Because y'all rent 25 towels a week y'all don't actually need. And then the manager was like, but you cutting back. I said, cutting only hurts sales. It don't hurt the location. The location is based on efficiency. If you got 1,000 towels, you want to rent 1,000 towels at a premium rate and you don't want to lose any. Who cares if you charging somebody more if they're losing more than and then you ain't bringing shit back. You're not actually renting. You just giving away and throwing away, and their insurance is covering their loss. So I used to run a super efficient route. So I got that dealing with niggas in the mall from that. So when niggas come up like, man, how much you think these jeans worth then, nigga? Since you think my price too high. You know what I used to tell them? Go to the Koreans, go to JMV, and tell me how much these jeans is. And nigga, when you get back, we'll negotiate a price. Nigga, man, they $75 down there. I said, so why are you bitching about $29.99 from me? Nigga, I ought to charge your black ass more. You see what I'm saying? Then they get cool with you, and I'm like, man, tell me what colors you want. Come back next week, I'll have your shit. So niggas with money would start coming in like, bro, shit, my son's got basketball, man. Let me get 2 pair of them LeBron James. All right, bro, give me the bread. I'll hold it for you. I'll put your name on the bag. Just come by. It's already set. You can cash app it or just put it into the register. So I started doing shit like that. When I went to the Koreans thought that I had a brick and mortar store. They're like, you doing this shit off a cart? Yes, nigga, I'm trapping out the trunk. You see what I'm saying? So I had 2 carts in the middle of the mall, like 2 big kiosks, like running all these jeans. Nigga, I got more jeans inside my kiosk than they got inside the Korean store. Nigga want a certain color, I go into the box that's locked under the shit and pull it out. But it just got to the point where it's like, if you don't think it's worth it because I have it, I'm going to let you go see how much it costs somewhere else. And then when you get back, we're going to negotiate a fair price. I had the dashikis. I charged her, is it real kente cloth? I said, I can get you some. I got a guy. Dude used to work at UAB. Dude was a professor for like African studies. I said, but he's going to tax. Nigga, if you get a handmade kente cloth dashiki and he hand makes it, he's going to probably charge you $150 or something. Oh, no, I'm okay. I said, so why you asking about it? I got a business card. I got an Instagram. I got the merchandise here. And you questioning the quality of my shit when I know the bad quality of the dashikis, the ones that feel like fucking plastic. I got the cotton shit. I'm selling a couple $1,000s worth of dashikis every week. Why are you talking to me about is it quality or not? It ain't real kente. You're not finna go to the Koreans and tell them y'all ain't got real kente cloth. You're gonna shut up and pay whatever they got on the sticker. You can get the fuck out of their store. And it's no returns, nigga. And put your fucking drink in the trash can before you come in here before I call security. But that's the type of shit you have to deal with. But I found my way to deal with it. And I made people feel stupid every day. You want kente cloth because you don't think I got it. You think I'm selling something cheap. I got better quality dashikis than anybody in the mall. And if you want real kente cloth, I get it, but you're gonna have to pay the tax. So I used to do people like that. So if you think that I don't got some quality or my shit ain't work, I'm gonna show you how much it costs. And then you're gonna see how fair I am to you. Because I could be tricking you like everybody else. But you're gonna have some respect, whether you want to admit it the next time you come back or the next time or the next time. I know because you spend money with me, you respect it. Then niggas will start coming to you, man. I don't want to pay tax, man. Can we do it no tax? Like, man, everybody else got to pay tax. If you don't pay the tax, I got to pay the tax. So I started doing something for niggas like that. My throwaway merchandise is what I would give them with the no tax shit. This shit already a loss. I'm finna stick the extra 10 you gave me in my pocket. I'm finna go to Chick-fil-A with that shit, nigga. That shit is not even on paper. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's done. So that's how I used to operate. The shit that I got from China for 35 cents is the shit I'm gonna let you get for no tax. This little box over here, this shit by the register. This shit ain't, bro. I got 1,000 phone cases for $75. That's the one I'm gonna negotiate the free shit with you, because I'm gonna just put that in my gas tank or something. Give me cash, man. Straight cash only. You know what I'm saying? Like, then I'm gonna ring up this shit and make you pay tax on the regular shit. Throw the receipt away. You can't return it. And then I'm gonna take the money, the leftover cash, and keep it. That's gonna be my petty change. The same way with my employees. How much you think you should get paid? Well, when I was working down there at Old Navy, they was paying me $8.50. All right, I'm gonna give you $10. What? Like, yeah, you're gonna have to work there for 2 years to get $10. I'm gonna give you $10. Really, bro? Yeah. How many hours you want? Now you ain't gonna steal, because I'm gonna give you more than what you think you worth. It's okay if I pay them an extra $1.50 an hour to know they ain't gonna steal, because they getting more than everybody else that work the same hours they work. Somebody got to work 25, 30 hours to get what you getting in 20. But for them 20, I need you to sell. That's how it's the universal mind control. You make them think they driving the car. You have to.
A Sports. For this next challenge, you need to complete all the
Yunko,
challenge goals to get the win.
That boy,
You can
that
view
boy
the
here
goals at any
silent. 2 jukes and don't get sacked.
from the pause menu. Since we're about to get underway, we'll kick it down to
Hang on,
Brandon
hit mic
Godden
on.
and Charles Davis for the call.
Coach, we
Walter.
start this challenge off in the first quarter with
This
3
boy
minutes
Lindo,
remaining. You have a
Don't mind
3-point
being
lead. You got
Lindo
the
Walter.
ball on your...
What the players, man?
Man, I'm doing these stupid ass challenges. I just been here talking. What you trying to shoot something or something?
Yeah, you know I can shoot for a little bit. I gotta.
Yard
Yeah,
line.
probably
As we
like,
get set here, 1st and 10.
All right, let me
Give him 4 yards
let me
there.
finish
It'll be
this
2nd
challenge
and
and then
6.
I'll pop up. I've been talking for 2 hours and 24 minutes with no gameplay.
Now Allen.
I'm feeling. I feel good when I can do shit like that.
I can't wait to get like
Put that up in certain segments.
What you say?
I clip that up in certain segments, upload it to YouTube. You just make some free content.
Oh, it's a
2 birds,
dub.
1 stone.
See, I be waiting till I get some good shit to chop. Like, sometimes I feel like I don't want my YouTube uploads to be me reaching. You know what I'm saying? Like, forcing convo. Like, y'all both was in here. I had 3 different people hop in and speak while we been live. So it's one of them things where I'm like, all right, cool. This works. Oh, Walt. Just playing with Juicy and whatchamacallit and Cree last night. Cree so funny, man. Cree OG though. She been around so long. She's like a person that been in the community that never streamed, but that know every streamer. And she chill in person too. She not no weirdo. Those be my favorite people. People in the community I've met in person that ain't a weirdo in person.
So you going to the meetup again?
Lord willing. because they was asking, I was like, I'll be honest with y'all. Things that happened when I went and came back from Vegas from jump off, the things that happened when I went to the last meetup and came back from Atlanta, like with some traumatizing shit that I haven't recovered from mentally. So when I say tell people like if I get a chance to go, I'll go, but it's like some shit in the back of your head, nigga shit that is like some of the reason why I say like if I get a chance to, I will. It's not that I don't want to. It's that some shit happened. And this is, I ask y'all, you know what I'm saying, as men, specifically too, black men, do you feel like if you let things get out of your control, like it always come back as a negative? Like you know what I'm saying? Like if you're not able to somewhat control a situation, as if like if I ain't there and I ain't the one who do it, shit ain't gonna go right. And I'm gonna have a bigger mess to deal with when I come back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that's an unfair burden placed on black men. Like you're like, God damn, if I don't
I
do
feel
it,
like
this
that's
shit ain't gonna
leadership,
go right.
though.
This
Like,
shit might
I feel
never.
like that's any leadership.
Those two situations that like have scarred my life the last year. The last year of my life has been hell since those situations, and it's like it made me feel like as much fun and as much it did for my career to be at them places. I wish I never went. Like, because what I had to deal with when I got back was way surpassed anything that I could have gained from what I went. You know what I'm saying? This is sad saying that I went to Vegas and was flown to Vegas. I had the most signups for a Madden tournament with every industry influencer in Madden that you could bring in that was to run tournaments and EA sanctioned event inside the Luxor where I made a finals in a live event with all the people from EA, and then to come home and be like, even after that,
Crazy.
it was risky because what I came home to was way more scarring and damaging than the gains I got from that. That was tough. Because it's like in a moment where I supposed to be
It's supposed to be
basking
enjoyment.
in some finally some like this would be like Impulse if you went to DreamHack and was in the finals down to the last 1v1 in a COD tournament with all the big names, and you on the main stage with the mic and all that shit in the Call of Duty league, and everybody's there, and you come home and it's like a fucking the shit's on fire, bro. And you just like, this is like one of the most exciting moments in my career to come home to, like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck?
I don't know what you're saying.
You know
I
what I'm
ain't gonna
saying?
lie. That's why I ain't come last year. Everything imploded like the week, but right before. So I said, I just ain't show up.
Rich, what's good, bro?
I come to get some much support and help, but that ain't the topic it look like.
Bro, I'll help you whatever you need, brother. I can't stand Rich, dog. I mean, Rich with his light skinned ass photos from the beach and shit. Rich got his titties out and shit.
Hey,
You know what I'm
hey,
saying?
relax,
Rich got his
relax,
titties out, man.
relax. Hey,
I didn't think
I
you was
paid
gonna
good
do it.
money
I
to
didn't
be
think
on
you
that
had it.
beach.
My boy rubbing the chin with the shades on, with the
Hey,
titties out,
hey,
sucking in
I
his
paid
stomach,
good
trying
money
to
for
show off
that.
the. He trying to show off the V cut and shit, man.
Like that. Paid good money. Y'all gonna get these pictures. I don't give a fuck. Paid good money to be on that beach. Shit.
Oh man.
You don't like it? Keep scrolling.
My boy said, "Come rub the tattoos, man. What's up?"
I've
That's so
seen worse,
funny.
so I mean that definitely went bad.
Nah, it was some good pictures, man. Like you had a good time, man. But
Hell yeah.
I was saying though, do you feel like that sometimes, Rich?
What's that?
That when you go do things as a black man, and you come home and you feel like, God damn, why I leave? It's some shit to deal with when I get back. I'm having the time of my life when I come back to fucking
Oh hell yeah. I
the
was
impending
there like
apocalypse.
yeah, trying to book another one on vacation, and I'm like, man, how can I miss this flight so I can stay? It was like, fuck that, I ain't going back.
I feel you. Because that happened to me the last two trips, and then the first trip was it was like nothing really bad happened, but then we all got COVID and we all sitting here like, should we go? Should we go? And we all go and bring our family back home COVID, and we like, God damn, bro, like can a nigga breathe? We had the time of our life and come back home, and then Splash got COVID. Ant was in the hospital. I was like, God,
Hell yeah.
that shit was tough. But you know, that's one of them things. Like I tell people that, and I'm like why? I said, cause when you black, man, you feel like when you come back, the church gonna be on fire, everything gonna be hell in a handbasket. when you not there to control and make sure shit go right.